I stumbled across a film about daydreams, one that earned a stellar 8.6 rating from nearly 500,000 viewers in China, and one scene in particular has become legendary among fans worldwide. A 16-kilometer skateboard descent down a mountain road. If you've been feeling lost or anxious about life lately, please stick with this story to the end. I promise you'll find something in it. A quiet secret to making life feel a little lighter. Our story begins with a sharp-dressed man in a suit, carefully writing down every dollar he saved and every dollar he spent. His name is Walter. He's the negative assets manager at Life magazine, basically a department of one. Not only has he been single for 42 years, he's been doing the same job, day in and day out, for 16. When he finds out the woman he's had a crush on for years is newly divorced, he quietly signs up for the same dating app she uses, but he can't even send her a wink emoji, so he calls customer support. The rep tells him his profile is incomplete. Things like, what interesting places has he been to? What meaningful things has he actually done? Walter goes quiet. Just then, he catches a whiff of gas and leaps to his feet, bolting into the building next door. Moments later, he emerges cradling his crush's little dog. He even goes out of his way to fit the injured pup with a custom prosthetic leg. Naturally, the gesture wins her heart instantly. But the next second, the customer service rep yanks him back to reality. Daydreams don't count. You need real experiences to impress a woman. Walter's life story is basically a blank page. He hangs up and heads to work, where his co-workers break the news. The magazine has been acquired. After one final print issue, everything moves online, and layoffs are coming. To make things worse, the new manager takes an immediate disliking to Walter, who keeps zoning out and staring into space. That doesn't sit well with the new boss. For 16 years, Walter has spent his days in a dimly lit basement, developing film rolls sent in by photographers from around the world. But an online magazine has no use for negatives. If he's no longer useful, he's gone. It's that simple. Then one morning, a package arrives from Sean O'Connell, a legendary wildlife photographer. Along with his final roll of film, tucked inside is a note thanking Walter for 16 flawless years of developing his work. Sean also mentions that frame 25 on this roll is the best photograph he has ever taken, a shot that captures the very essence of life itself. He's personally recommended it to the editorial team as the cover of the final print issue. Also in the package, a custom wallet, a gift for Walter, engraved with Life magazine's motto, a few lines every employee once wore with pride. But when Walter opens the canister, frame 25 is missing. This is the greatest photo Sean has ever shot. It cannot be lost. Before he can even process it, a co-worker bursts in. Walter needs to bring frame 25 to the meeting right now. In the boardroom, the new manager announces the decision has been made. Sean's frame 25 will be the final cover. He asks Walter to produce it on the spot. Walter stalls, claiming it's still being processed. After the meeting, he swallows his nerves and approaches the woman he's been secretly admiring. She handles the photographer's accounts, so she might have Sean's contact information, but she tells him Sean is a freelance contributor. No phone number, no fixed address, nobody knows where he is. She happens to be a puzzle enthusiast, and she offers to help Walter look for clues, starting with the remaining frames. Maybe something in them will point the way. It's the first time Walter has ever spoken to her directly. His heart is racing as he goes back downstairs and develops the prints. 3 frames have images. One is unidentifiable. One is a man's thumb. The third is a stretch of open sea. No obvious connection between any of them. While Walter stares at the photos in a daze, his sister calls. It's moving day for their mom and also Walter's birthday. She gives him a rubber toy as a gift, his favorite from childhood. Together they help their mother pack up the house. His sister pulls out an enormous travel bag dear Walter had bought after their father died, back when he had big plans to see the world. Plans that never happened. The travel journal tucked inside is completely blank, much like Walter's life up to this point. Then their mother brings out an old photo. Young Walter with his dad. He had a mohawk back then. He'd just won a local skateboarding championship. Full of fire, full of life. He looks at the man he is now and wonders when exactly he became this person. Just as he's drifting, a message comes in from his co-worker. She's found a clue. The reflection on the water in that third photo shows the name of a ship. Walter shares the photo with his crush. She's on her way to pick up her son from school, and Walter falls into step beside her. On the walk, she tells him she quit her last job after her divorce and came to Life specifically because she believed in what the magazine stood for.
To see the world.
Things dangerous to come to.
Yeah.
To see behind walls. I got this from Sean.
He gave this to you?
Yeah.
I like that, to draw closer.
Then she asks Walter what Sean is actually like. Walter thinks about it and says they've known each other for 16 years and they have never once met in person. While she makes calls to track down the ship's location, Walter teaches her son a few skateboard tricks. It used to be his one true passion. A couple of advanced moves leave the boy completely stunned. And then the news comes. The ship is in Greenland.
Nuke Greenland. Yeah. Come on, that's a good lead. You should follow that up.
Yeah, follow it up in Greenland.
Walter's heart sinks. Getting there would cost him every last cent he has saved. Back at the office, the insufferable new manager is on his case again, demanding frame 25 right now. He even grabs the toy his sister gave him. Something in Walter snaps. He slams his briefcase straight into the manager's face. The two of them brawl, crashing right out of the elevator and into the streets of New York, playing out a full-blown superhero showdown. Skateboard man versus Wolverine, just as they're about to trade the final blow.
You the Tin Man? You little oil can? Jesus.
Yeah, he's doing it again, daydreaming. Meanwhile, his coworker turns the basement inside out. Still nothing. Walter is left with two choices: wait to be fired, or act. On the wall, a photo of Sean seems to beckon him forward. This time, Walter doesn't escape into a daydream. He chooses to be brave instead. Without looking back, he sets off for Greenland. Just like the magazine's motto says, to see the world. Things dangerous to come to. A little red plane, a symbol of freedom, touches down. Walter rents a small red car and drives into a town with barely a handful of buildings. Small town, but the beer glasses are enormous. While asking around for information, a heartbroken drunk latches onto him and insists they sing a breakup ballad together. When Walter's delivery isn't passionate enough, the guy starts poking him in the face. Somehow, a brawl breaks out, and then Walter notices something. The drunk's thumb. It matches the photo exactly. Turns out this guy flew Sean in just yesterday, and he's heading out again soon, delivering supplies to a fishing vessel. He cheerfully invites Walter along.
You're just gonna finish your beer and then buy a machine?
Yeah, I'm kinda nervous about this, so just want to get a couple of beers down.
Then he downs an entire boot of beer, steadies himself against the table, and wanders outside to chat with the dog. Walter lets out a long sigh. He'd rather not die today, thanks. But as he hesitates, she drifts into his imagination. The helicopter is terrifying, yes, but he's been a coward for 42 years. That's more terrifying. As the drunk starts up the engine and begins to lift off, Walter sprints forward and throws himself through the door. He grips his seat and stares out at the sky, scenery he has never seen before in his life. Sunlight punches through a break in the clouds, like Walter himself punching through the walls he's built around himself. The helicopter reaches the ship. Walter asks how exactly he's supposed to get down. The drunk tells him to pick the right moment and jump. Walter stares at him, completely blank, but with enough prodding, he takes a breath and leaps.
Ow! No, Walter! I'm at the other boat! The little boat!
He bobs to the surface, clinging to his sealed briefcase. Then a shark locks on. The captain's voice crackles over a bullhorn. That's a dolphin. Don't worry, dolphins protect you from sharks. Walter believes him.
Come here! Hey!
Okay, that's a shark!
He frantically uses the briefcase as a shield, and just in time, a rescue boat hauls him aboard. He never imagined his very first adventure would almost kill him twice in one afternoon. The bad news: Sean left the ship 4 hours ago, headed to a volcano in Iceland, but the ship docks in Iceland the next day. So Walter gets off there, and somehow beats out a crowd of sailors for the island's only available ride. He flies down a deserted Icelandic highway, sky and earth stretching out in every direction. Pure, open freedom. For a man who's never traveled before, it's hard to tell if this is real or a dream. He stares up at the sky, and a flock of birds morphs into her smile. He drifts away, lost in the vision. Then he rides straight into a road sign. The bike, totaled. Walter sets off on foot. At a rest stop, he spots some kids on a skateboard. A cool 4 graphic on the deck. He remembers her son loves skating. He trades the rubber toy his sister gave him for it.
It's cool, look, he stretches. Here, come here, check it out. Yeah, he's fun.
Then he finds himself at the edge of a cliff, looking down at the winding road below. A wild idea takes shape. He picks up 2 stones, wraps strips of cloth around his hands for grip, and pushes off. The mountain road becomes his stage. He cuts through it like a blade, arms open wide, one with the Icelandic landscape, leaning into corners, flying downhill. It's the love he discovered as a kid that gives him this freedom now. Everything else falls away. The cold wind rushing past him blows the anxiety clean out of his chest. For one brief moment, Walter genuinely feels like a teenager again, but when he reaches the town at the bottom, it's completely deserted. A sharp alarm wails over the loudspeakers. A stranger runs past and shouts, "Volcano's about to blow." A plane roars overhead. Sean O'Connell is standing in the open door, camera in hand, photographing the eruption from above. That's how he gets his shots. Walter has no time to admire the dedication. He jumps into a stranger's car and races the volcano for his life. Black smoke swallows everything around them. They make it out. Walter sits in a small restaurant, deflated. This impulsive trip has burned through most of his life savings. Sean is gone again. No idea where. He calls her. He tells tells her everything: the helicopter, the shark, the volcano. Then, somewhere in the middle of the conversation, he tells her about his father, how his dad always pushed him to skate, how, when Walter was 17, his father died suddenly, and how, when that happened, everything Walter had ever loved died with him. It's the first time in years he's opened up like this. She listens, genuinely captivated. But back on her end, disaster has struck. The layoffs have started in earnest. Walter realizes he doesn't really care anymore. What he really wants to tell her is that he brought something back from Iceland for her son, but in the end, he can't quite get the words out. By the time Walter returns to the office, the manager is waiting for him, demanding the photo. When Walter can't produce it, he's fired on the spot. Nobody notices what he gave to this place.
More than 1 million, way more negatives have come through my office. I've never mislaid one.
Put it on a plaque, hang it at your next job.
And then, a moment later, she's been let go too. Walter gathers his courage and knocks on her door. A man answers. Walter's heart turns to ice. He leaves the skateboard on the doorstep and walks away. He went all the way to Scandinavia and back, and reality is still this cold. Walter is furious. He hurls Sean's wallet into a trash can, and slumps down, staring at the remaining photos. Then something catches his eye. That photo. Isn't that his mother's piano? Same model, same chipped corner. Sean had been here just a week ago. He'd sat with Walter's mother and asked her all about her son. She had told Walter, but Walter had been deep inside a daydream, and hadn't heard a single word. His mother also mentions Sean's next destination is the Himalayas, photographing snow leopards. But Walter feels nothing. He's been fired. She's moved on. What's the point of chasing Sean now? His mother looks at him quietly.
You were Sean's partner. And he told me that you were the person who worked the hardest to make sure his work was realized, the way he wished. He finished his work.
You two worked together for 16 years. Whatever happens, that deserves a proper ending. Walter starts packing. Funny thing is, all the gear he needs has been sitting in that bag for 20 years. He just never had the courage to take the first step. Now he finally does. He writes in his childhood travel journal, filling it with an adult's footprints at last. He passes waterfalls hanging from sheer cliffsides, receives blessings from the local people. To acclimatize, he trains with his guides along cliff edges. When he's hungry, he eats leaves. When he's thirsty, he drinks snowmelt. Out here, happiness is that simple. After crossing a world of white, they reach 18,000 feet. Walter's thoughts scatter like snowflakes in the thin air. The higher they climb, the more dangerous it gets. For their own safety, the two guides can only point him in the right direction. Before turning back, Walter walks alone across the roof of the world, through the folds of the Himalayas. His red climbing jacket blazes against the endless white, like the fierce, alive thing he's becoming. Somewhere in this vast silence, he finds himself. Then his phone rings. The dating app rap. Good news, your profile is finally complete. The bad news, the woman he liked has deleted her account. Walter is just asking the rep to take down his profile too, when a voice behind him says, "Keep it down." He turns around. It's Sean. Two old friends meeting face to face for the very first time. After 16 years. No fanfare, no drama, just two people, on top of a mountain. Walter immediately asks about frame 25. Sean looks puzzled. It's in the wallet. The negative was the real gift. The wallet was just the wrapping. Walter goes pale. When Sean hears the wallet was thrown away, he just shakes his head. What a shame. That photo really was something special. Before Walter can ask more, Sean raises a finger. Look, a snow leopard steps into the clearing below. Graceful, unhurried. Sean watches it through narrowed eyes. He never reaches for the shutter. Walter is nearly climbing out of his skin.
When are you gonna take it?
Sometimes I don't. If I like a moment, me, personally, I don't like to have the distraction of the camera. I just want to stay.
Stay?
Yeah, right there. Right here.
Sean never presses it, because his life has never been about ticking boxes. He has nothing to prove to anyone. When the leopard slips away, Sean heads back down the mountain, and joins a group of climbers for a casual game of football. Walter joins in without hesitation. In this moment, every worry, every anxiety, simply ceases to exist. It's a lightness Walter hasn't felt in a very long time, one that seems to echo the magazine's motto perfectly: to see each other, to feel. That is the purpose of life. There's just one thing Walter never finds out: what frame 25 actually shows. But somehow, that no longer matters. Back home, not much has changed on the surface. The savings are gone, so his mother has no choice but to sell the piano his father gave her long ago. Walter is consumed with guilt, but his mother simply holds him close, because nothing matters more than having family near. Then she reaches into her bag and pulls out the discarded wallet. Of course, that's mom's for you, always picking up the things you throw away. Frame 25, found. Walter walks straight into the office, slaps the negative on the table, and asks the manager point blank if he even knows the company motto. The manager fumbles and recites a McDonald's slogan.
That's McDonald's. This thing that you do, Ted, where you come into a place and you push people out, you should know that those people worked really hard to build this magazine. They believed in the motto. And I get it, you got your marching orders and you have to do what you have to do. But you don't have to be such a dick. Put that on a plaque. and hang it at your next job.
Walter turns and walks out. He can't undo being fired. He can't undo the years he lost. But after everything he's been through, his resume finally has something worth reading. On the day he comes to collect his severance, he runs into her in the hall. She wants to know where he's been. She hadn't heard a word. Walter stumbles through the whole story, tripping over his words the way he always does, and she sets the record straight. The man at the door that day was her ex-husband, dropping by to see their son. The misunderstanding dissolves. They walk out together. Passing a newsstand, they stop. There it is, the final cover of Life magazine. And frame 25? It's a photograph of Walter, at his desk, in his basement, doing his job with total, quiet dedication. The greatest photo Sean O'Connell ever took was of an ordinary man doing his work with care. Life doesn't have to look like Sean's. All volcanoes and snow leopards and helicopters. Most of us are ordinary people. But if you can take one simple thing and do it with everything you have, that's the most extraordinary thing of all. So if you're someone who worries constantly, hear this. An inspiring film, a mind-shifting book, a spontaneous trip to somewhere new. None of these things will instantly transform your life. The world won't suddenly become beautiful overnight, because life is built quietly and steadily from one present moment to the next. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You just need to work honestly, live fully, and notice the beauty in every small, extraordinary moment that is already yours.